All right, welcome to the sports show with Bob Spino.
How you doing, John?
Doing well. How about yourself, Bob?
Well, I'm hanging in there. We haven't done a show in a while, and Rob's been, I don't know where Rob's been actually, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. We got a lot to talk about. We got the deadline. Baseball is really in full swing, and football's not far behind. So let's go over it. You ready?
All right. So we're gonna do buyers and sellers here. So
Okay.
let's see what we got. All right. AL East. What do you think? We'll start
Um,
with the top of the division, the Orioles.
um, I honestly think the Orioles need one more bat, one more power hitter. They've got a lot of good hitters, and they got one power hitter, but I think you need at least two or three because uh, you're going to need those long balls at the end. And a lot of these guys in Baltimore are really young, and so I really don't. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold up, but they're holding up pretty well, all things considered. And I'm kind of happy for them. They haven't won in who knows how long, and it's kind of good. And I'm not much of a Yankee fan. If anybody doesn't know that, so anybody that can keep them down, I'm kind of happy about that. So,
I mean, they're
um,
currently in a series with the Rays here, and they
yeah,
are taking it to them. The Rays are faltering, and the Orioles are taking a commanding lead of the division. So
yeah.
I would say absolutely.
Well,
That's
I knew the Orioles were going to be much better. They've been coming on for the last couple of years. They've been bringing up their players, and I guess when you're that lousy, you keep getting good picks in the draft. So these guys are actually pretty good.
They
And
have
I
a good young core with
and I
Gunnar
know Tampa's
Henderson
good
leading
too,
it.
but I know Tampa's good, but I didn't think they were going to be this good. And now they're coming back a little more down to earth, which I kind of suspected the whole time. So
Yeah, they've had a couple injuries with Shane McClanahan and those guys,
yeah,
so it's been rough for them. But I mean, they still got a good team there, and I think they're still a scary team, and everybody else has got to watch out. But
well, the
you know,
Yankees are scared of them. They kind of own them. And I know you love the Yankees, so
listen, that's why I have the hat on. I
yes,
also
I
have
know.
the last championship shirt, which is 2009. So it's been a rough
Uh,
drought here.
I,
Um,
I,
you
I,
know,
I got to go buy a Baltimore Oriole hat, no doubt about it. But but no, I actually like them. I'm kind of excited, and I like the way they're playing. I think they just need another major bat, though, and that'll kind of give them the kick they need. What about
Y-
you?
Yeah, I think the Orioles have they've been rolling. I think another bat would do it. I think their pitching maybe a little bit more depth at starter. They've had some guys rotating in. I think their bullpen's been pretty solid. I
Yeah.
mean, their closer Felix Bautista has been downright amazing all year. So, I don't want to add too many pieces if I'm them. You ruin the consistency that they've had, which has led them to the top of the division as is. So. I think one more bat would be the key. Where would they get it? That'd be the question. Who would
Well,
you add?
well, I mean, it would take like the whole farm system with Otani, and that owner does have the money. He just doesn't like to spend it. He's got a lot of money, and remember, guys, there's no salary cap. There's only a luxury tax. That's a big difference. It's just a lot of guys don't want to pay that tax, and that owner's got it. He just don't want to do it. But and you're right, John, because I thought about that too. If you don't want to tinker with the lineup and the team when you're going good. I mean, I know you want that extra player, but you got to be real careful not to mess things up. And that's the thing when you're good. Like everybody knows when you're bad, you want to be a seller. See, but how much of a buyer do you really want to be if you're going really good? I mean, I don't know. You gotta do some homework there, and you got to be real careful with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think they'd be in the market more for maybe not a major star like Otani, but grabbing somebody like Nolan Arenado from
Right.
St.
Or
Louis.
the
I
other
think that
kid
would
who's
be
in
a
St. Louis, the
cornerstone third
left-handed guy.
baseman. They've missed Machado for a while. He can do it on both sides of the ball. He's been a perennial Gold Glove, third baseman, and frankly, he can hit. He's one of the top hitters at the position. I think that would be the guy to go after if I was to say anybody out here right now. So
What about the kid? What Nolan with St. Louis? He's a lefty bat, That guy can
Nolan,
play.
Nolan Arenado is
No, no,
Nolan
no. There's another guy.
Gorman.
No, Norman.
Gorman, is that who you're thinking of?
I don't know. I saw
The,
him the other day, and I was watching him hit, and he's pretty darn good. He's got like 20 homers. So and he's a lefty bat, and down there, it's kind of like Yankee Stadium. You got that short porch in right field, so it's a big wall, but it's easy to climb.
yeah,
That
they
ball
moved left
pretty good.
field back this past year.
Right. They
So
did. Yep, they did.
yeah.
So,
Um, so buyers consensus.
well, you know what? Yeah, I would say Bayern.
All right, Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. Um, they could use another batter or two too. Um, they're going to buy. Look, they're good. So, and they want to maintain what they did. I mean, they're not going to totally maintain what they did in the beginning because they were just so off the charts high. Um, yeah, they're going to be buyers. Another bat would help them too.
I think if I'm them, I put on the yellow light. Maybe not necessarily a stop sign, but they've slowed down quite a bit here. They're 30 and 32.
Right.
Since starting off as the kings of the world there. They've got a lot of young guys, and usually young guys, start to slow down
Yeah.
later in the year. So I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily put all my eggs in one basket here. They've got
Well,
a
like
lot
I
of
said,
good
they
young
need one.
guys and good
They're
core
good.
going
No, they're
on.
good. You don't want to. I'd say they need one. And that's right. I mean, they shouldn't go stir crazy, but you can always use an extra bat or an extra arm. So, yeah, they're going to buy.
Yeah. All right. So Blue Jays
They need pitching. They need pitching. Um,
starting a relief.
a couple of their starters are pretty good, actually. They probably could use a little bit of both. They're like third and fourth starting, not that great. And their middle relief is okay, but they do need more arm. You know what? They're weird because just when you think it's going to be their year, every year they're picked to win the division or finish in the top two, and they never do it. And there's something wrong there. I, but I think pitching is the main thing. They do have a lot of hitting, so um, they'd probably look for an arm if I had to guess.
I think personally the Toronto Blue Jays have done most of their spending before the year even started.
Right.
I'm not sure that they've got that much money left in the tank to be pushing for a big star at this point. Maybe grabbing somebody who's cheap on a 1 year deal, is going to finish
Right.
out the year with them,
Right. Or maybe
something
on their
like
last
that.
year of the contract.
Yeah. But anything beyond that, I don't know if you want to take on that commitment at this point.
Right.
Especially we've got, some of your younger guys like Alec Manoa really struggling and whatnot. I mean they've got Hyunjin Ryu, I think is coming back soon.
Right.
So they've got another veteran, he could help share the workload there at the pitching end. But
Right.
yeah, I think their batting lineup is set.
Right.
Whit Merrifield's having a bounce back year.
Right.
He's a great player, and I
They
think
got
that
the
they can
power
try to
hitters.
ride that.
They got the middle of the lineup too, so they're fine there.
Yeah.
The problem is the arms. They're a little weak with the arms, so they need arms. They need pitching.
All right.
Here we
Fourth
go.
in the division, the Yankees. Here we go.
They need to go into last place. Unfortunately, they're in fourth again. Um, they what do they need? They well, for the first time, and I've said this since the early '90s, they can't hit. And anybody that knows me knows that good pitching does not always stop good hitting. And that is ridiculous. Like the actual quote is good pitching stops good hitting and vice versa. And hitting is much more important. Offense is much more important because you need defense to try to stop it. That's why you need a defense and a pitcher. The Yankees have always won because they've had the most bats and the best bats from Bruce on down. I said this before, and it's so beautiful when I look at their lineup and see everybody batting 200 or below. You don't know, it makes me sleep well at night, almost like a good air conditioning in a humid climate. It's beautiful. And but yeah, you need hitting and you don't got it. And my brother just talked to Aaron Judge. He did. And um Aaron said he's gonna come back. I hope not. No, I hope he comes back. Well, but you know, he look at the difference without him. I mean, they can't they would have lost these two games the last 2 days if the Royals didn't totally stink, and they ran themselves out of the one game. ran the bases terrible, and they ended up not scoring the runs they should have scored to win it. They can't even beat. They're struggling against the Royals. That's how beautiful. You know what, John? The other day on Twitter, they gave logos, and it was like six of them. And the Yankees one of the logos, and it said pathetic. All these teams are in last place in their division, and it had like Oakland, Kansas City, Yankees. I'm like, yes, it was a beautiful moment. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't get those much. But I mean, it was no, they need hitting. And should they be buyers? Yes. Are they going to be buyers? No. Um, not for the big guys. They'll get somebody little. They will not get somebody big. They will not get Otani. I know Yankee fans they're going to get him, but I hate to spring this one on you guys. George is not alive anymore, and Howell's not George, and Cashman is not Gene Michael. I'm not even going to want to get in trouble. Although maybe I should. I'll get views. But you know, Cashman is not Gene Michael or Bob Watson, who's often forgotten, who was a great player with the Houston Astros, by the way. And Gene Michael wasn't so good as a player, but he was a great, great, great guy, and as a GM and creator of the team. But yeah, they don't have those guys, and it's funny, John. You love this. The other night, I'm on Twitter, and it goes, "Let's play Aaron Boone Bingo," and it had like a bingo card, and it had all his quotes, and it was just like it was like, I think he had a good at bat. I think we played pretty good tonight, and you got smashed 14-1. The Orioles beat you. I think we had some good takes and good looks, and we just got a little unlucky. They scored 14. You got more than a little unlucky. I mean, but I loved it. I wanted to play that game. I wish I could have got a real card and just started playing like it was bingo. But and they really don't know what they're doing. And I mean, and Hal does not care. He believes in Cashman because he thinks Cashman was the one, behind it all when you were winning. And what that wasn't the case. He inherited it. He got there halfway through. You guys were great already, and George was still alive. He was like, get him, get him now. Whoever it was that year, it was A-Rod, whoever it was, and the Yankees gone. And the Yankees don't do. And it's weird, John, because my friend's a big Yankee fan, and he's the one that I know that sometimes he gives me tickets for the games. And I told him when we were kids one time when they were winning, and he was loving it and rubbing it in my face. I looked at him and went, one day when George ain't there no more, it's going to be like when Caesar died in Rome. Your empire is going to die right after it.
It
And sure
certainly
as
has.
hell, huh?
Certainly has. That's why my
Yeah,
shirt
and,
is
and
from
he looked at me
2009, you
and
know.
he looked at me. He was so mad, but he knew. I go, look. I go, let me tell you how I know. Because when Red Auerbach died, I'm a Celtic fan. Somebody came and went, Dynasty's over. And then I realized the guy was right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Celtics are still good, but and by the way, Danny Ainge, you screwed us because you didn't get us a center. And Boston, would you please get a center? You should have got Anthony Davis. You botched it up. You should have took Kevin Durant. You botched it up. But that's another story for another day when we get into basketball. But I learned it from that though. And you guys are just, oh, you know what? The two teams that really could get Otani, and I do believe he's going to get traded. I know people thinking no. I know people on your Yes Network, your buddies there, they think no, but I think yes because I noticed that they were listening to offers yesterday. They're open to offers. After saying they weren't going to trade him, they have to trade him. They're not going to. They're going to lose it. He may walk. The Dodgers are going to throw tons of money at him. That I know. And actually, and if I can get to Cohen, and I almost did the other day, um, I'm going to tell him you got to do it. Give him what he wants. How old is he now, John? Like 28? Is he like 28?
He's approaching 30. I mean,
Right.
Otani he's still the greatest. He's right in the heart of his prime here. So,
Right.
I mean,
I wouldn't
he's
give
the
him 10.
greatest player on earth. No
I
doubt about
I give him like when we were kids, long before steroids, and everybody would quit around 35-ish. That's be the rule. Some a little more, some a little less. Steroids kept them in longer, as we now know. It's not that they're bigger, stronger, faster. It's just they have better steroids. Um, but I would sign him for like 7 years, not 10. But I would give him extra money for those 7 just to get him there because you don't know what's going to happen after 35. And he's not on steroids, but you know, and that's why I say sign him to 35 because if he breaks down. But he's great. You're right, John. And you don't want to come to Yankee Stadium because I've heard a couple of things. One, When he flipped that bat the other night on you guys, he was still mad you didn't get the MVP over Judge. That's one. Two, he don't want to be like Babe Ruth. He wants to beat Babe Ruth. Not that he ever will, because he ain't Babe Ruth. And I don't care how good he pitches. Babe Ruth's the greatest player ever. If I was, I'm telling you, John, I hate the Yankees, but if I was alive back then, I would have been wearing that hat, not you, because I love Babe Ruth and I love that Yankee team. I did, and I respect them. I know how great they were. And the one thing about the Yankees, even though I hate them, I respect them because I wish my team did it that way. I'm a Met fan. I wish all my teams built that way in every sport. And just idiots that because they go around and they're like, oh, money, this. See, you spent money. It didn't work. It doesn't always work. But it did work 27 times, didn't it? How many other teams could say that? How many times did the Oakland?
And that's why honestly the Yankees have to go after Otani. You have to.
They
I
do.
mean, it is.
You're right.
I am scared we're not going to make a run for it, and George is going to be rolling over in his grave. To be honest with you,
He's already
because
doing backflips.
Otani's exactly who we need.
It's exactly who you need because you need that extra guy to back Judge up. And you don't
Lefty bat, lefty bat. We haven't had
lefty
a
righty,
big
lefty righty,
time
lefty right. That's
lefty
right.
bat in how long?
He's got 35. He'll hit 35 in a week at Yankee Stadium with that short porch.
That would be the hope.
Not for me.
His
Well,
pitching has
other
faltered a
quarters,
little bit. He's got a middle finger issue going on, but even
he
his pitching,
does.
I mean, his pitching is outstanding. I mean, he pitched yesterday. He pitched, I think it was 87 pitches, and they pulled him because his middle finger was ailing. But I mean, at the same time, he went 0 for 1 with 3 walks and 2 runs scored. So he's helping his side of the ball either way.
So that's right. And you know what, though? He doesn't like the fact you've been walking. That I know. So you know what? I said it all last year. Why didn't they walk Judge when he was getting all those home runs? Nobody would do it. But they're doing it with him. He's mad and he wants to get even. I don't think he wants to go there. But even if he did, I don't think Hal's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it, John, because
That
he does.
scares me because I don't think so either.
No,
I
that's
agree
right.
with you.
Yeah,
You know,
he's not
and
going to do it.
and with the team looking the way they are, Donaldson is, now he's hurt, but he was not playing his best ball at third base. Rizzo hasn't hit a home run in 2 months now, something like that. I mean,
Right. He
he's
finally got a hit. Did you see what he did today? He was so
the,
happy he got a
the
hit.
the poor guy. I wonder if he's hurting or if it's just in his head at this point. I mean,
It,
Giancarlo Stanton,
it could be
he's got
back.
3 homers since the All-Star break, but I mean, he's also got 3 games that he went 0 for 4, right? So
Right. But you know
we
what?
need it back.
It could be the back. Back's nothing to mess. I have bad back. I know what that's like. So there are certain days where you're not going to hit. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing Randall Grichuk is who we're gonna go after, and
Mm.
that as a Yankee fan that pains me because I'm used to going after the big names
Well, that's
here,
right. And you
but we got Bobby Abreu at the deadline the one year. I mean, guys like that,
and I
it's
got to
it's
say it on Twitter. I did because somebody goes, "Why didn't we get this?" I was a Yankee fan. I go to Yankee Twitter all the time and read the stuff. And why didn't we get that? And I go, "Look, buddy." I go, "You got to understand. You guys have become too pompous. As fans and too bratty. You're brats. You want everything." I go, "There are other teams in the league that are allowed to win, believe it or not. And your owner is not the old owner, believe it or not. And right now, he's making you one of us. He's dragging you down to the lobster level at the bottom of the pail. Tell everybody what you think about the patch, John. I know you were going off with me on the phone. Tell them.
Yeah, the patch is a disgrace as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it was never something that any Yankee fan ever wanted to see here. I know it's extra money in the organization, but so would be a partnership with Gillette for having your beard trimmed and whatnot, not just shaven right off. So I mean, there's a lot of things that if the Yankees want to evaluate things for money, I think that wins need to be a part of that. I think you need to justify that by winning it all at this point. If you are going to change tradition, which tradition was the most important thing, was the pinstripes and the number on your back, not the patch on your shoulder. Okay. I know that people saying, oh, the Nike symbol and whatnot. Listen, that's an MLB wide thing. Okay. There's nothing we can do about that because Nike makes the shirts. They made that decision as the MLB.
Right.
Okay. That was not a Yankee decision. This was a Yankee decision that came from the higher ups.
It
And
came from hell.
the
It came
Yankees
from hell.
past have been rolling over in their grave with this decision. I mean,
Well, you're
I've been
being,
watching the games and I don't want to see that patch on their sleeve every time they're up to bat.
you're
It's
being
terrible.
you're being nice here, John, because you were screaming at me on the phone when they did it.
Yeah, I've calmed down to this point because, I'm going to yell about it again if that money doesn't go toward getting Otani, because that is the only reason you can justify ruining tradition. Okay. Breaking a tradition that, the organization, the number comes before anything on the jersey, the pinstripes come before anything. All right. You allow that. Okay. Now, what is the most important thing for this team? Is it money? Is it winning? It's not winning.
It's not.
It hasn't been winning.
It's not.
It hasn't. It's been money.
Right.
And as a
Well,
fan going to the stadium, spending my money. What am I spending it on at this point? You know, I mean, we're not as bad as the A's here, but I mean, what's our big acquisitions been lately? Who are we going after? What are we doing?
well, you're not. And you know what? They finally said,
Identity crisis, Bob. That is the Yankees' MO right now.
yeah.
Identity crisis.
Well, you know what?
Where our pitching's been off, our bullpen's been great, but we can't hit for anything.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. And you know what they said? Two things they said the other day that I've been saying forever. I haven't seen a team this bad hitting wise since the early 90s. They actually said that the other day. And you know what? And you know what else they do? Like, they're not, you're right, John, they don't care. So you're coming down to where the rest of the league is, and the fans can't deal with that. They cannot. And I love it personally.
We're Yankee fans. We shouldn't have to deal with it.
No, you should. You need to feel the rest of the pain. Oh, yes, you do. And 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 you know what's funny too? Because like when I'm on Twitter and people lose their minds, I go up and I play like the sneaky one. I go, you can trust Brian. He knows what he's doing. Believe in him. And like I calm them down too. They calm down. It's like, oh, I hope so. I don't trust him. He knows. He see. Oh, did you see this? Some girl came on SNY the other reporter, and I don't know who she was, but she's like, the Yankees should make this move. Trade the Martian and one other great farmman you have for that guy with the Cardinals I was talking about. Not Owen, not Nolan, not him, not the third baseman, not Olenado. No,
Goldschmidt, they want, huh?
no, it's not Goldschmidt. I would remember that. No, it wasn't. It was like a backup guy. And I'm like, trade the Martian. I like the way you think.
That would be so. Here's the thing: the only one, the Martian, is Jason Dominguez, as we all know,
Yes,
and
in case
he
anybody.
is one of the most amazing prospects.
Right.
He was meant to be a Yankee. Okay, his father named him Jason after Jason Giambi after watching him in the early 2000s.
That's
And this guy is a switch hitter.
can
He
you be
plays
open?
center field. He is 5 tool. He looks like the next, Fernando Tatis Jr. is what people are comparing it to with his speed and his arm and his ability to field and his everything hitting. Right now, he's striking out too much is the reason that we don't have him up. He looked pretty good in preseason against the pros. He struck out a bit
No, he
there
really
as
did.
well,
He did.
but he has the power. He just needs to have the tools to do the rest of everything that's need to be done. The plate discipline is the most important thing right now
Right.
for
And
him to learn.
who pointed that out? But Brian Cashman. He's 3 years away. That's what Brian told us. He's not ready.
He's
He's supposed
not
to
3 years away. Bringing up Judge
be
at
what Brian
25 years
said.
old was a
One,
travesty.
three.
And to do that again, you need to be fired. You do that again. So
What?
even if he's not ready, I mean, look at Juan Soto. He was in the league at 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
He had a little bit of struggles here and there. I mean, but he was mostly good. And, he raised his game to play with guys that were on a higher level. And
Right.
that's what the great ones do. And we've talked about that many times on our phone conversations, Bob. The
Yeah.
great ones raise their level to meet the level of
Oh,
expectation
when the time comes. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
because they're great.
You know,
And he will never know that unless you give him a shot.
Brian knows all. Trust Brian.
So
John, trust him. No, no. You know what? You know what's funny about it? When I was emailing or direct messaging the owners of the Mets, I said, "Go get Otani." And here's why I said it: because even if the Mets weren't playing well, the Mets were 14 games out on August the 1st in 1969, and they got Don Clendenon who put them over. They did not. They did not sell. Would there be a miracle Mets if they sold that year? It never happened. Where would the 78 Yankees ever caught the Red Sox? Warner Wolf at that time was the CBS sports guy, and everybody loved him. We'd always watch him at 6 o'clock news and 11 o'clock news. And he would go, if the Yankees won every day for 3 million years and the Red Sox won, the Red Sox would still win the division because they were that far ahead on August the 1st. Can you imagine if they got rid of some of these players like Pinella or Chris Chambliss or or any of the other Nettles? Can you imagine that? Would they have caught the Red Sox? Hell no. I don't believe in it, John. If you're good, you add. And I don't believe, it's just like football. If you have a wide receiver, and I know I'm a Chiefs fan, so I wish they'd gotten Hopkins. They didn't. But I think you can never have that much talent on a team as long as you have a strong coach to tell them, we're here to win. Don't screw around. Andy's a strong coach, but they have another coach, and that's Mahomes. He would go in and go, we win here, dude. We don't screw around. You've already got your money. Keep your mouth shut and do what I say. Red Auerbach was like that. There was a guy named Charlie Scott in 1976. Great individual player, but a troublemaker. Okay? Everywhere he went. But he could score. The Celtics needed one more scorer. They got him. Auerbach took a chance, looked at him, and went, if you mess up here, you're gonna get out of the league and it's gonna be over. He kept his mouth shut, they won the championship. And he played a big role. That's how you gotta do it, John. You
now
know what
with
I'm
a
saying?
minute left here, I think that we gotta clean the top of the AL East here.
Yeah.
So we've got the Yankees. I mean, consensus there. So we're saying buyers, but if it's not big, it's not going to take them over the top. I think is where we're at.
Right.
Would you agree?
Agree.
So the Red Sox. I mean, they're right there with the Yankees.
Yeah, they
Would you
really are.
buy?
Um, I don't know much. I guess that they would be. I wouldn't sell because they're not that far out. You know what I'm saying? None of these. Look, the best division is the East. So I would think that they would just tweak a
Maybe
little,
hold.
huh?
Maybe a hold and see. Maybe a
Yeah,
small acquisition. I wouldn't
yeah,
do anything that's a 1 year with them. I think they are more leaning toward the rebuild here, and they're
yeah.
looking more toward the long term. So
Right. And